Hi, beautiful people. Let's talk skincare. This video is part of a series of videos that I'm doing on redefining aging. And I really want to encourage you to watch the first video in the series, maybe right after you watch this one, called Saging, a Revolutionary Vision of Aging. And in it, I share the shifts in perspective that I have gone through and that can help us view aging as our superpower. View aging as growing in value and wisdom and playfulness, radiance. That's the starting point for all of this conversation about aging and a conversation about caring for our outside as well as our inside, caring for the body as well as the heart and the mind, but beautiful, radiant, wise, sagacious, which is what I'm after. I don't want to just age. I want to sage. I want to grow in wisdom. All of that is an inside job. That's a heart job. That's a mind job. So I want to invite you to that video as well so you can have it as a foundation for what I'm going to share here. I'm 46 as I'm making this video, and so far I haven't gotten any injections, Botox, filler yet. Who knows? I'm not saying I won't down the road. But I want to avoid that as long as I can for all kinds of reasons. We don't know what the long-term effects of this treatment is, as it's a fairly new treatment. And it doesn't always go right, right? We don't always know what the outcome is going to be or how our body is going to react to something. And then also, it's something that once we start, it's oftentimes something that we're probably going to be doing onward from there. So I really love to first approach skincare from this perspective of how do I so deeply nourish my skin and my radiance. Our skin is the largest organ of our body. Have you ever thought of it that way? And it's obviously very, very absorptive, right? So anything that you're putting on your skin is getting absorbed into potentially your bloodstream and affecting your body in all kinds of different ways. So we want to pay attention to what the ingredients are, what we're using, and try to use products that are nourishing and not toxic. So I'm going to just take you through what I do in a day, and it's grown over the years. It's less minimal than I might like it to be, but I feel really good. I feel so much better at 46 than I thought I would, that I imagined I would. And I love that we are in an era that is celebrating longevity in a way that we never have before. We're discovering so many things just in the whole field of longevity research that our grandmothers 60 or 70 or 80 is not ours. It looks and feels, or it can feel, very different. So I find an enormous amount of joy and hope and curiosity in all of that. So when I get up in the morning, first thing, I wash my face with this face wash that I've been using for probably over a decade. It's Elemis's Dynamic Resurfacing Face Wash, and it is just ever so slightly retexturizing or ever so slightly enzymatically exfoliating. And I just love the texture of my skin using it. Probably only about maybe 3 times a week, I'll use this Revive La Polish as an exfoliator. And so it does have a very, very, very fine texture to it. It's the finest exfoliant that I've ever come across. And I'll use that on the face very gently when I'm doing a full girl shower. After that, things get weird. I put on this serum by Mysama. It's their green rooibos pressed serum, and all of the products that I'm talking about, because I know that some of them you may not be able to see so easily, I'll link in at the bottom of this video. So I put on this Mysama. It's a green tea based serum, and then things get weird, and I put on my mask, my LED mask. And here's a little glimpse. And it took a while for my dog, Everest, to get used to it. But I will do this for 9 minutes is what is recommended. I do it every day at the same time. I get up, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I put on the serum, and I sit in it while I'm doing maybe a morning meditation or some core work before I get coffee. And partly that's just to actually make it a part of my practice, to make it a part of my routine. You probably know the whole concept of stacking habits. The book Atomic Habits made this very well known, that when we stack on top of the foundational habits in our life. So you're never not going to brush your teeth in the morning probably, or you're never not going to drink a glass of water in the morning, or maybe if you're working on drinking more water, you're connecting the teeth brushing to the drinking water, right? So in the same spirit, I do this right away. So then it's something that I'm doing daily. It's really easy to get some of these tools and then just forget you have them, or maybe you use them once a month or something, and then you're not really getting the effects of them. So 9 minutes is the recommended time for this mask. And the reason there's a ton of LED masks out there, I love this one because this is maybe the only one that has the lip coverage as well. So you get that full facial coverage. You're also getting the stimulation to your lips. And they have an attachment for it that has a neck extender as well, which is great. So I did a lot of research on the quality of these different masks and just long-term longevity of them, and really, really love this one as well for those reasons. After that's done, oftentimes I'll actually do this maybe in the evenings before I'm gonna wash my face again, but I just wanna talk about it now so that I'm giving you my 2 power tools. This is the MyoLift microcurrent device. And all this does, the idea of microcurrent is that it sends, so it has these 2 probes that are connected to it. You will cover your face with this gel. There's this nice silicone paintbrush that you'll just put, the areas that you're gonna be using the probes on. That's gonna allow the probes to have conductivity, electrical conductivity. So this gel is also made by the same company, 70 Restore. And it lasts a long time. You only need a tiny bit when you do it. And so what you'll do with these probes is you're using them in different ways. There's tutorials for this on YouTube. Let me know if you want me to make you one, I will. But the idea behind it is that you're activating all the little muscles in your face. And especially this machine is called MyoLift. And so you can work on, just gentle lifting motions as well. And what you're trying to do is 2 things. The microcurrent is both kind of in fact, one of the modes on this machine is called educate. And the idea is that it's educating your muscles for how you want them to move. So when you're doing this on a regular basis, you're educating your facial muscles to have that lift. The other thing is that all of this microcurrent stimulation is going to stimulate collagen, which is really the magic, the magic substance that we want our own bodies to produce, that's going to help our faces to feel full, vibrant, and collagen in our skin on all parts of our body. So I'm usually using that device in the evenings before I'm washing my face again at the end of the day. But right after I take off my alien mask, the Mysama mask, I will use this spray. It's an atomizer that is also the same kind of green tea based spray. This is a green rooibos hydrating atomizer is what it's called. And it's just this hydrating, because this serum will dry out while you're using the mask. And so this rehydrates your skin with that green tea. And then I will put on this Joanna Vargas vitamin C serum. It's actually called Rescue Serum, which is my favorite vitamin C. I've tried so many different vitamin C serums. And not only do I love the potency of this one, the actual vitamin C potency, but I love the smell and the texture. I live in Colorado, and so it is very dry where I live. I live at altitude. But when I'm not in Colorado, oftentimes this serum is all I will wear during the day as far as a moisturizer, if I'm in especially a tropical or more humid climate. In that case, I'll just put on sunscreen right on top of it. But here in Colorado, I'll usually let this absorb for a little while. And then I will put on this wonderful, really rich Botnia face oil. It's called the Replenishing Facial Oil. It smells heavenly. It smells like just putting this oil on your hands and just holding it up to your nose is like just a little meditation in itself, especially in winter, like when you're really wanting a thick, super nourishing face oil. I love this so much. So after I've put on a moisturizer, one or two of these oils, I will put on my favorite. This is my like product of the year, favorite product that I have found recently, this sunscreen. It is by Isntree and it's called Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. And you will not believe how hydrating this sunscreen is. I feel like every sunscreen I've ever used has that kind of drying effect to it. So you've put all this moisturizing on and then you're putting this kind of like dry agent on top of it. But, so this is my number one, this Elta MD UV Clear sunscreen. I try to get my sunscreen pretty high. So this is SPF of 46. The Isntree is an SPF of 50, especially on the face. I'll try to go for a high SPF. I will use this on days where I don't want to wear foundation. I just want to balance my skin tone out. It's just a very light tint, and this is awesome. I've found to be really effective. I've been out on the water a lot of the day and feel like this is really good protection. And then just to finish out morning skincare, I use this Necessaire, the body lotion for hydration for the body. I like to actually mix it with a little bit of coconut oil, so it's just a little bit thinner than it is coming out of the tube. They have a great pump of this as well. It's fragrance free, which is, I think, really nice. For evening skincare, like I said, I'll use the MyoLift microcurrent machine every other day and maybe for about 5 minutes. And after the first month of using it, even for that pretty short amount of time, but regular use, I really felt a big difference. So I'll wash my face again with the Elemis resurfacing, and I will just I alternate every other night. I've loved for many, many years Reviv's Moisturizing Renewal Cream. There is a very gentle active ingredient in this that really gently exfoliates. And so you'll probably see, if you look at their website, they talk about like the Revive Glow, which I saw the first time I used it and I've loved it ever since. So because this does have this active ingredient in it, I usually won't use it every single night. I'll alternate. So the other nights I will use, and I don't have any more, I just ran out, but I'll use Goop's peptide serum. I'll link that below with this nourishing oil as a moisturizer on top of it. So I alternate those. And then I also just wanted to share some of my extras. I sweat for a living, so I've always been very skeptical about any kind of natural deodorant. But years ago, I finally switched to native, which I love, particularly this scent, the eucalyptus and mint. It's just fresh. It's very, very subtle, and it works, which is really important. I also love maybe like at least once a week, especially being in Colorado where it's so dry. I love this rehydrating mask. So if I'm taking a bath or I just like have a night that I've got some extra time, I'll put this on for, half an hour, basically just until it dries out. And then I also, when I am taking a shower, a girl shower, I will dry brush. I try to do it daily, like anytime before a shower or a bath, the whole body. You brush. So this is a soft but firm bristle, which is what you want in a dry brush. And you brush up on every part of your body except when you get to the torso. So you'll brush down and then up through your torso area. And I can already feel the little tingle. Dry brushing, of course, it's a great exfoliant, so it's gonna slough off the dead skin cells, but it also is amazing for your circulation. So it just kind of wakes everything up. It circulates blood through all of the skin, and you feel this great tingle afterwards. So it just feels so good. And then after a bath, especially after a bath or a shower, I use this tool after I've put on moisturizer, and I usually mix the Necessaire body lotion and some coconut oil, I use this great little tool by De La Hart and to slide up on the arms, on the legs, and this is a really similar idea. So this gets a bit deeper than, well, a lot deeper than a dry brush does, and this is so good for lymphatic drainage. And then speaking of baths, my absolute favorite Epsom salt is Dr. Teal's. I really love, this is the eucalyptus and spearmint, and they also have a wonderful like pre-sleep blend that smells so good. And then of course they have lavender. Epsom salt baths are great for rebalancing your electrolytes in your body and especially balancing your magnesium levels. So that's going to be really supportive, especially as you go to sleep that night. So that's my current skincare routine. I would love to hear your questions, your comments, and especially what are you using right now? What do you really love? What's a product that you've discovered recently? We could have a whole other conversation about hair care, especially curl care. I actually made a course called Wild Crown that's on my website. It's super affordable. It's at NicoleMeline.com. I like to think of it as a wild crown. And I share my favorite curl products and styling techniques and just my own journey of working with, learning to work with and not against what I have. That applies to everything in relationship to our body, doesn't it? In learning how to nourish and to cultivate and care for our radiance as we age, as we deepen, as we become sages. So I also want to invite you to the first video in this series, and I'd love to hear your thoughts just more broadly about aging with power and grace and vision and radical generosity and creativity. Big love.